Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to my Dune Awakening content. So if you remember, folks, I made a video not too long ago that was talking about the explanation of the Dune Awakening server structure. We talked about how the pattern was that you had to consider if you wanted to figure out a way that you and your friends can actually play together. Let me rephrase that. If you want to figure out a way to jump through all the hoops so that you and your friends can actually play together. That's what I really should have said, because I'm not a network engineer or anything, but I'm telling you, this server structure set up for Dune Awakening is an utter mess. It is just crazy. I just can't wrap my head around it. Like I said in a couple of posts that I've made about this issue, I think the developers at Funcom are approaching this system of server structure as completely network engineers, and they're not thinking about this from a gamer's perspective or from a customer's perspective. Yes, they're trying to figure out ways to balance server load and all that kind of good stuff, but they're not really taking into consideration what the ramifications are if players have to sit in queue. We're about to have Queuemageddon, and that's what I'm going to name this video, Queuemageddon. Well, the reason why I'm revisiting this topic, other than the fact that it scares me to death for this game, because I, for one, am paying a lot of money for my pre-order copy, and on day one I want to get in the game and get going. It's only fair because I've given this company my money and I expect to get on a server, and I don't think that's going to happen. I think I'm going to get stuck in Queuemageddon because of the way these servers are designed. Is just not feasible for the influx of players that are going to hit these servers on release. The reason why I'm bringing this topic back up again, though, is because we now have some information from the official Discord from Joe Bylos, the head creative director. He got on here today and he answered this thread right here. And I'm sorry about this. I'm trying to figure out a way to display this in a manner that it's easier for you to see with this Discord setup I have going on. It's not becoming very streamer friendly all of a sudden. But it says the original question was about basins and queues. The main thing that everybody is starting to really worry about right now. It may have been a lot bigger of an issue than most of us realized that weren't testers, because we weren't privy to the private testing Discord where all of this stuff is obviously being talked about. All we're seeing is what's leaking out when we're all starting to dig into this and really start to understand the pain that's about to hit us. So this person, Rex, the original poster on the official Dune Awakening Discord, posts this question about basins and queues. He says, okay, so if you build a base in basin number 465, and so do your friends, but then the basin has 40 people in it who are going to play for 8 hours, you just, what? Can't get back to your basin? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I understand there's a queue, but a queue doesn't solve anything if none of those 40 people leave the basin, or if you're 900th in the queue. This right here sums up one of the two issues that are the main problem with this whole thing. This is Queuemageddon in a nutshell right here. This is what's going to happen on day one. We're all going to be focused on trying to get our groups onto the Haga Basin that we want to play on so that we can play together. And that is what everybody is going to be doing. That is what every guild is going to be doing. They're going to try to be doing the same thing. And if you are lucky enough to get in, then you're going to stay in. You're going to do everything you possibly can, whether it means no sleep, setting alarms, just basically risking your personal health by staying up for 3 days straight, no eating, no drinking, no nothing, you're going to do whatever it takes to keep from getting kicked. Which means that those 40 people, which is such a minuscule amount for a map that we all want to play on, are going to do everything they can to keep from getting kicked. You're never going to get in if you don't get in right away. If you do get lucky enough to get on a server and you lock that one down as your home server and you make that be your Haga Basin, then guess what? That's the one that you have to come back to with that character to play. That's where your base is going to be. And if any of your friends got on that one, that's where they're going to be. Yes, I know that you can travel to see your friends and all that stuff on the other Hagas, but that's not what we want. We want to be able to get on the server where our base is, where our land claim is. And that's where everybody else is going to be doing too. So if you can't get back on that server, then you're going to get stuck in queue. And that could go on for weeks with a new release like this that's going to be huge, and with this crazy 40-person concurrent user server structure. We get it that it's only 40 people per map, but there's a back end on that where it allows who knows how many hundreds of people to call that map their home. And then they're all going to be sitting in queue trying to get in too. It's not just 40 people. That's what a lot of people don't understand. It's not just 40 people per map. It's 40 people concurrent users. But there's also another limit behind the scenes, which is how many people can actually call that map their home. So that's how many people are going to be trying to get on, which is going to push you farther down the queue. Well, Joe Bylos, the creative director, finally spoke on this. This is something that they have been refusing to speak on with us, and we've asked question after question after question. He finally spoke on this. Let me get down here to where he responded, because we talked about this over and over in this thread. And shout out to my buddy right here. He's the one that brought this to my attention. Thank you, sir. But down here, Joe responds. All right, here you go. So you can see the original question is what he's responding to. If you build a base in 465, he said the answer to your question is yes. You can be locked out of your basin if it is at peak CCU or concurrent users for 8 hours and you cannot get in. That's how the server systems have to work with the way Unreal works on the back end. Now we have slot reservation for people and a max cap for characters allowed to be created on the server. And we have been deliberately overfilling worlds in beta to try and get our numbers correct. But the answer to the theoretical question is yes. So he's basically admitting right here that if your 40 concurrent users on your server is full, you will not be able to get in. You will go to queue, and you could possibly sit in queue all day long. There's no any kind of timer or anything like that that will guarantee that you're going to get in. He says also, we'll probably never release pre-order numbers, but hopefully we can put our worlds before launch. Put out our worlds before launch for people to plan. We aim to have double the hardware we think we require for launch, not pre-order sales. So they're not going to tell us the pre-order numbers, but they said that they'll put out their worlds before launch for people to plan. I guess that means they're going to tell us the server numbers on the worlds for each server farm region, I guess. I don't really know what good that does, because you're not going to be able to control how many thousands of people are trying to hammer the same Haga Basin that you are. You're not going to be able to see on release how popular some of them are and how popular they aren't. You're not going to know how many people are actually trying to get on the one you're trying to get on. So putting out this information ahead of time I mean, that really does us as gamers no good. You're not, if they said, here's a list of the 10 Haga basins that are going to be on World 1 for the Central USA server region, what good does that do you? You have no clue how many guilds back in the back end there that you don't even know that are going to try to hit that server say, okay, we're going to World 1. And you say, okay, guys, we're going to World 1. Everybody, for all you know, everybody's going to that one. You have no way to know how popular that server will be ahead of time so that you can plan. So that, while that sounds good, that really does you no good as a gamer. And we think we'll have double the hardware we think we'll require. What's that going to do? The problem is the 40 user CCU. That's the problem. That's such a small number that every single Haga basin is going to cap out within the first 5 minutes, and you're never going to be able to get on. That's the problem. Hardware is not going to solve that problem. An easing of the restriction of the CCU is what will solve that problem. But anyway, I just had to get that out there because this issue is really starting to become a thorn in my side. And I'm really starting to stress about this, and I'm getting very frustrated. It's nice to see them actually finally say something, because so many people have been posting thread after thread after thread asking, how is this queue system going to be good for us as gamers? And they have not responded at all. Well, the creative director finally did respond, which, you know, thank you. But it didn't ease my fears at all. It actually made them worse, if you want to know the truth. Because I don't feel like this is an answer that solves anything. This is an answer that acknowledges the problem and then doesn't really sound like a solution. So, you know, in the comment section, if you've got something to say about this and you think that this is a good thing, let me know, because I'm sure not seeing it. I'm sure not seeing the ray of hope here in this answer that tells me that this is going to be a good situation. This is depressing. Anyway, thanks for watching my content about Dune Awakening. I'm really glad that you chose to be here with me today, and I appreciate you watching. I hope that if you're interested in seeing some of my content in the future, that you'll think about subscribing and, you know, hit that like notification so it can get shared around to a wider audience. Think about ticking that bell so that you'll see any content that I make in the future that you might be interested in watching as well. And I'll try to always focus on keeping it positive. I really have. Every video that I've made, I've tried to focus on keeping it positive because I'm really in love with this game and I want to see it prosper. But this video is it just kind of depressed me because I don't really see it as a solution. So I've got my fingers crossed, and I hope that I'm proven wrong. I really do. So if you've got some information that you can share in the comments that proves me wrong and gives me hope, let me know, because I need it. I need it right now, for real. And I think so does the community. I think the gamers need it right now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later in a video about Dune Awakening coming soon.